Okay, this is going to be a weekly recap from the 13th of June to the 17th. I had a total of 9 trades and 8 trades were profitable. That was a nice 88% winning percentage rate, and 66% of my trades were according to my current $20 to $25 risk level. There were a few where I traded less than what I was supposed to, and I think I want to try to move it up to from a $20 to $25 risk level to a $25 to $30 risk level. The only concern I have is that maybe I made a lot trading TXTM this week. It had a really nice run up, and now it might be the back end of TXTM where it starts downtrending, and I don't want to maybe size up when the opportunities maybe are not as good as they were because TXTM already had its run up, and maybe it's going to be done. Maybe it'll continue the uptrend, but TXTM did have a pretty big red day, and I'll go over that. And the stats were pretty good. I only had one trade that didn't work out. I lost a little bit right there. So, yeah, I made the stats here look super nice. You know, I made on average 3 times as much as what I lost, which was just that one trade. My average percent gain is a lot better than it has been, which is really good. And my average position size, I'm trading $100 positions. Really because of the fact that some of these have like a really wide risk level, or maybe I'm just having an extra wide risk level, and I trade small for that reason. Some of these they could really fail, and then I'll be out a pretty bad percent loss according to the way I'm trading it. And yeah, I ended up making 20 bucks this week trading with just $894 of volume, which is actually a really impressive thing for me. I was looking back, I can't really find another time that I was able to make that much in terms of percentage from the dollar volume that I traded, um, unless you look all the way back to the other year when there was like this pretty nice streak here when I was trading around in July. But the problem was is that back then I did not trade dollar risk levels. I would just be like, oh, this is a nice setup. I'm gonna trade a $600 position. This one is not so nice. Let me trade like a $200 position. And that's not really a good way to do it because you know, it could be really different from trading a 9 cent OTC to a sub penny OTC, and they can be pretty ugly in terms of percent differences if a setup doesn't work out. But yeah, this was like the last time I had something as high as that, at least with a considerable amount of trades, right? I mean, I think there was one, yeah, this one's 3%, so I made $20 trading just $600 of dollar volume, but I had just, you know, 2 trades, so I don't really want to count that so much. Ideally, I can continue to be more profitable, and I can try to trade much more size, and yeah, let's just go over the trades one by one, starting with SYXX, which was a morning panic bounce play on top of a gap down. Let's look at SYXX for the 13th. And the 13th is going to be right here. All right, not necessarily a big downtrend, but I guess it'll make sense later when we get to the chart. Yeah, I mean, I guess I did have a gap down, but it's not really that significant looking. And it does says it was the 13th. Anyway, let's just go over it. I was in at 9:33 a.m. at 214. So 9:33, 214. I was in right here. It did have a drop, I guess, from this 24 level to 21. And I guess I got in right here because I saw that level 2 turnaround. Maybe a trend line was breaking at this point. Something in the price action made me feel like it's going to turn around, and that's why I got in for that reason. And I did get out at 9:36 with an average of 22. So 9:36 was right here when I got out at 22. So I probably sold in 2 pieces perhaps, because it wouldn't have been possible for me to have you know, sold right here at 22 when it's not even showing up in this candle. I probably sold some here, and I probably sold another piece maybe at VWAP or something like that. I bet I go over it in the notes. No? It looks like everything went well here. I've said that I didn't trade the right amount of shares. As you can see, if this setup were to have failed, which I do write the price that I think would have been worst case scenario and I had to cut losses quickly, you know, would have lost $8. So that means I should have traded maybe I guess 10,000 shares. Yeah, that would have brought it around that $20 to $25 risk level, and I would have been more profitable trading that. But hey, that's totally fine. Let's look at the next trade, which is TXTM. And this is the first dip under VWAP first day. Let's look at TXTM for the 13th. And this is going to be something I traded a lot this week. And you can see why. I had a pretty nice uptrend. But when I traded it, it looks like it was the very first day, which is pretty cool. Let's look at the 13th, which is way back here. And I was long at 10:03 a.m. at 35. 10:03, which was right here. Right here, 10:03 at 35. So why did I get in? Probably because they had this really nice morning spike on this first green day. It goes from 25 sub penny to 49, which is massive. That's like almost a double. It has a dip right here, and it's not really under VWAP. I mean, I guess it did here a little, but this was more, you know, legit in terms of being under VWAP. Had a little spike and then a downtrend, consolidated, it started to pick itself back up. And I probably got in right here at 10:03 because I saw maybe a change in the price action, and it looks like it was going to try to make a move, breaking past this 36 sub penny level and getting above VWAP, and ideally, which didn't turn out to be the case right here, but it did do it eventually and over a longer period of time, get much higher. It didn't really uptrend that much here, but I think that was a good setup. I got out at 10:05 at 363. So 10:05 was right here. 363. So just barely higher than what I got in. I probably maybe sold half of my position for break even because it wasn't working immediately. And then I probably sold the other half in this right here at 10:05. And yeah, it just didn't really do very much, unfortunately. But I think I was, you know, trading a pretty good setup for what it was. It just, I mean, I say that it worked out here, but it didn't really offer that much opportunity. I'll probably keep it there, but, you know, I would have liked it if the setup worked better, if maybe it got, you know, to the 40s or something better than that. But I guess it is a move from this 35 sub penny to 38. That's like 10%, I guess. So it's not the worst setup, but ideally that one could have been more profitable. Let's look at the next trade, which is TXTM on the 14th. Yeah, morning spike, previous high day breakout. So 14th gonna be the second green day, and eventually, if I, you know, have the ability, God willing, I can try to level up and be at that point where I can try to hold some of these over a longer period of time, not just day trading them, but maybe holding a piece for multiple days. Let's look at the 14th, which is right here. The next day, I was in at 933.49. So I'll probably zoom in a bit more. 933 was right here, and I got in at 49Y. As you can see, is the next day, and the previous day high, the first green day, the high was 49. So I probably got in right here at 933 because it was just looking like it was going to break past 49, which would be like a continuation, a breakout from the previous day high. And I mean, you can see it did get as high as 55, so that was pretty impressive, and it did continue the uptrend. And it says right here, I did my best on the sketchy uptrend. I did get out the next minute at 50, so 934 I was out at 50 right here. I didn't really give it much of a chance. Again, I was in right here at 49. I got out the next minute at 50. I probably just felt iffy with the price action. Yeah, it says right here that I just didn't like the level 2, it seems like. The only thing I maybe could have done better was when I got in right here, you know, at 49. Maybe I could have drawn a trend line, or maybe I could have just risked VWAP, which was my original risk level, and just held longer. Maybe sold in 2 pieces, but I guess I got super scared from that level 2 price action. There was definitely improvement here, and yeah, I hope I can do better next time on a similar setup. Let's look at the next trade, which is GTOR, And this is a morning panic bounce play before 10 a.m. So probably a morning panic bounce play, but not at the market open, a little later. Let's look at GTOR for the 14th. 14th is right here. Not a very crazy looking day, but I guess it did have that wick right there. This is going to be the 14th. Let me just highlight it from here. And all right, I was in at 955 at 535. So 955 was right here. Not a perfect morning panic bounce because it kind of had a spike and then it went down, but I was in it right here at 955, right around here at this 53 level. Seeing that potential morning panic bounce play, and I'm sure if I can draw a trend line, it's probably even going to show a trend line break. Let me extend this one to the right and then go back to my mouse pointer. As you can see, yeah, it was right after the trend line broke, and that probably gave me a lot of more confidence to be in the setup. It didn't get to VWAP here and make it super profitable, but I guess it did get to 57. I did get out at 10 o'clock at 54.1. So 10 o'clock is when I got out right here, and I got out at 54.1. I'm not sure if it was my entire position here, maybe in pieces, but yeah, it seems like it just didn't really have that much volume for this setup, although, you know, the chart pattern was there. It doesn't say whether I sold in two pieces or not. Oh, it did. Yeah, I sold in two pieces. Okay. Alright, it just didn't really have that much volume, but this was in theory a morning panic bounce play. A later one. Let's just see what it would have been like if maybe I sold right at VWAP at 619. If it were to have been more profitable. Dang, that would have been super profitable. And that's the thing with stocks that have low volume. They can have a really wide spread and move a lot. But yeah, it just didn't really offer that much opportunity there. But I think I did that one of the best that I could have. You know, at least for the time. Something I've been trying to do is selling in two pieces. And I also want to not just sell in two pieces, but use a trend line for the second piece. If it breaks it, or some kind of an indicator that it's not working out, or maybe it breaks my original entry price, something like that. Just a lot of things I need to keep getting better at. Let's look at TXTM for the 15th. I think that's the third day. Right. Did I say 15th? Let me just be sure. Yep. All right, that's the 15th, right? Oh, I knew I was off. Here's the 15th, the third green day. Let's look at the 15th, which is going to be way back here. All right, and the setup is morning spike, previous day high breakout. Okay, so yeah, it's just like the other one I traded. And this was a buy right at the market open. I had that first trade. Let me actually zoom out a little bit so it doesn't look so weird right there. Again, that first trade I had on the second day in the morning was when it broke the 49 level from the previous first day. And now I'm doing the same thing here on the third day, where the high on this one was 73 probably. Yeah, about 73, and it started to do the same thing. I'll probably just highlight the morning a little closer to make it clearer. I was in right at the market open at 74. So let's look at 74 right at the market open. So I probably got in right here at 9:30. I guess it's because, you know, the previous day high was 73, and it was already opening at that price point, if not higher. And I think this one did have that dip under VWAP, and I didn't sell because it just didn't really seem that crazy. It kind of looked like it was just going to get under it a little and come back, but I think my risk level was 7. Yeah, the 70 level breaking, if not the day low. And as you can see, this one was massive. It got as high as a penny. And I think this is one where, yeah, I didn't rank myself too high in terms of how I traded it. I did get out at 934.775. So right here I got out at 934.775. So right between 77 and 78. So probably around right here is when I got out. And this is one where I just wasn't happy with the way I sold it. I think I sold everything in one piece. And, you know, it was better than that other one where I kind of got scared because of the level 2 price action at that 52 sub penny level. But it would have been better if I sold half of my position here. And then I could have drawn a trend line maybe. Maybe something like this. And extend it to the right. And then I would have sold the other half right here in the 82s. Even though it did get to a penny, I would have been much happier if I sold maybe half of my position when it did feel a bit off right here, than the other half when it officially broke this trend line. This thing did do like a very aggressive thing where a stock breaks a trend line, but then it tries to aggressively come back and regain it, but it never really does. It started to have some distance from it, and I actually would have been interested in shorting this if I had the opportunity right around here when it started to have a lot of distance from VWAP, and it was failing to break this important, nice solid round number of 1 cent. And this was actually a pretty nice downtrend. It went all the way to VWAP, and it did offer a dip buy opportunity, although it was kind of hard to trade it. There were just a lot of setups with TXTM that I didn't take, and hopefully the next time I can get an uptrending stock like TXTM, I can be much more profitable and better. The same way I'm doing a lot better here with TXTM compared to the most similar uptrending stock, which was SYXX about a month ago, I believe. That wasn't bad for what it was, but this is an example where I'm trying to sell in 2 pieces because it helps me be much more profitable. Could have sold a piece here and then the other half here. Even though, again, it did get to a penny, I would have been much happier with that. Let's look at the next trade with TXTM. Morning spike range breakout. Let's look at TXTM for the 16th. Right here's the 16th, and I'll probably get rid of this trend line right there. This is the 16th. And at this point, you can see we're definitely trading above a penny. It did eventually uptrend much higher. Let me highlight it a bit closer. I was in at 936 at 133. 936 was right here at 133. So I probably got in this because it wasn't able to be another setup where it breaks the previous day high in the morning and then we have a morning strike, because as you can see, this was a gap up, so I wasn't able to be a part of something like that. And it makes all the setups that I want to trade a little sketchier, but I was in it because of the fact that it looks like it was trading back and forth, and I thought the range to break out was this 14 and 13.5 level. And I got in at 936 because it looked like at the time it was going to break 135, and this one did not work out. This was the one setup that I lost money in, and I got out at 938 at 132. So right here at 938, I got out at 132, and I think I got out because there was just a lot of bad price action, and it looks like it was going to break VWAP, which was my risk level, and I did sell right then and there, and it did get lower, but it did eventually come back, and I did trade it when it did come back and break that range I was looking at. Now I got in at 946 at 139. So I got in right here, 946, 139. So why did I get in it? It was finally breaking that 135 level, and it was also getting close to that 14 level that I was interested in. And when I got in right here at 139, you know, I thought it's not like a previous day high breakout morning spike, but it is trading within the range, and it's breaking past that range, and now we can be a part of a morning spike, which would be pretty nice. I did get out at 949 at 145, so right here, and I believe I sold in 2 pieces, which was perfect. My average though was 145. Again, I was in it at this 139 level, and I ended up getting out at 145, and I'm glad I did so when I did, because if I didn't stick to my rules and selling 2 pieces off of a trend line break, because this one did break a trend line. I'm not extremely sure how I had it anymore, but probably wasn't like that. I think I actually traded it using a trend line off of the bottom of the candle instead of the wick. Yeah, I think that's why I got out of that other piece when it looked like it was gonna break it. Let me see if I actually still have it. On the 16th. This might be it, actually. Just to prove that I'm not just lying, you know, and being crazy. As you can see, this was the same setup on the day I traded it. And I bought right there on that breakout over 135 with 14 in mind. And then I sold a piece while it was uptrending. And then I sold that last piece right here when it was doing that potential thing where it was breaking this trend line that I did draw based off of the bottom of the candle, not the wick. And I saw that other piece right then and there, and that was the setup. So yeah, and you can see another setup right here when it finally broke the day high. This was a nice setup right here, the confirmed breakout. I made a video. You can go back to the 16th, the video I put on the 16th where I go over it in detail. Let's look at the next trade, which is TXTM, a morning panic bounce play. So this is when it finally started to downtrend, and just look at the way this thing looks right here. And let me get rid of this drawing while I'm at it. Big red day. Although, it's still kind of up. It had like a big red day, but, it still looks like it's uptrending, right? Very ugly way to have, in theory, an uptrending day, but this thing was pretty impressive. Let's go ahead and look at, yeah, the 17th right here. And this is when I was getting ready for my camping trip. I missed out on this, but I did trade another stock, GESI, which had a big panic as well. This was pretty impressive, but for right now, let's just highlight the morning, which is when I traded it. And I was in at 946 at 17. So 946 was right here, and I got in at 17. Maybe not the best entry, but I got in because it was looking like it was having a really ugly, choppy morning panic bounce play. And I believe it got to the point where at 946 it was breaking a trend line. And it did reverse. It got to VWAP, but I didn't like the price action. It kind of threw me off. I did get out at 952, 17.1. So just to confirm, was that? Yeah, 952, 17.1. So right here is when I got out at 17.1. And I was in at 17, just a few minutes ago. It did get to VWAP 17.7 was a high, but it was kind of hard for this one to really uptrend. It did uptrend after I sold some more, as you can see in this green candle right here, but I don't mind this one too much. This one just didn't really offer that much opportunity, but let's see what it saw at 17.4 would have been, because that was in theory possible. Yeah, at best case, I think it offered maybe like, I think 17.7 was the highest. Yeah, best case scenario was 4%, so there wasn't really a lot of meat on the bone. Let's look at the last trade, which is GESI, and this was a morning panic bounce play, a real morning panic bounce play. The 17th of GESI. So you can see this one's a very strange stock the way it trades. And I guess I'll zoom in a bit more. This thing had a break past $5. Unfortunately, this happened in the middle of the day on the 13th, and I didn't see it when it was happening. Otherwise, I would have liked to have been a part of it. And it got as high as $10. And then it had a big sell-off day. This one, just trades kind of strange. And is that? Yep, that's a drawing. Although I don't get an option to remove it. Maybe that's not a drawing. I have no idea. Anyway, let's just go over the setup. Before I get too carried away. I was in at 1154, 581.5. Probably just zoom in a bit more. 1154 was right here at 581. Why did I get in? It looked like it was going to do a morning panic bounce play, and it was going to turn around right here, and it was playing off of $6. And I liked it. It just seems like something in the price action was going to make an uptrend, and I didn't know if this was going to be the ultimate bottom. This one ultimately was the bottom, and I regret missing it, but I think next time, God willing, I can be able to actually nail the bottom on one of these. This one, I didn't trade the ultimate bottom because I saw that shoulder, the head, and I thought maybe it can do an inverse head and shoulders, but the last time I thought that, I missed a setup, and that was the same issue I had here, but I did trade this what seems like the bottom, playing off of $6, but it wasn't the ultimate bottom. And I got out at 11.58 at 5.93. This was an average. 11.58 was right here when I got out at 5.93. And I sold in two pieces based off of an uptrend. And as you can see, this is when I traded it. Although I guess I'm not showing when I got in and out because I didn't make the chart because I was going to that camping trip. But you can see where I actually traded it here. I sold a piece at 606 and then the rest at 588. And I sold the last piece when it was breaking this trend line, this uptrending trend line right here. And yeah, that's really it. I feel like I was a bit disorganized in this weekly recap, but I hope it made sense. Definitely a lot of things I need to get better at, and there were a lot of setups with TXT I didn't take. And ideally, once again, if we can get another uptrending setup, like TXTM, SYXX, I can be able to trade that profitably and maybe be even able to hold for a longer period of time, a small position. That would be pretty cool. Otherwise, that's really about it. I'm considering trading larger, and I'll be watching GESI, TXTM for potential bounces for GESI or more morning panic bounce legs with TXTM. That's all I have for this weekly recap right here.